country, German Iberico, Westphalian, Tallensi Speck, and Jinhua. What all do these happen to have in common that you might be asking? Ham. They are all types of dry cured hams found around the world. In the dry curing process, a ham will be rubbed with a dry cure mix of both salt and other types of preservatives. Dry curing tends to make the product very salty, and the ham may be aged for up to more than a year. 6 months, though, it tends to be the more traditional process. This sometimes can be altered, though, by different types of aging temperature. Okay, before we get started, what exactly is a ham? In its most basic definition, a ham is a preserved leg of a pig. It's pork. Did you know some ham fanatics look specifically for the left leg of a ham? You might be wondering, why is this so? Well, basically, if a pig scratches itself with its right leg, it will tend to make the meat a lot tougher. And in general, who doesn't like more of a tender ham? The method used in preserving tends to vary. The most common are smoking, salting, and brining of the ham. These different types of preserving can make the flavors very different. First, let's start with what we know best, the North American country ham. This is a variety of ham native to the southeastern United States. It is traditionally dry cured in salt and sometimes other preservatives. It is then aged for at least a few months and may or may not be smoked afterwards. Country ham is rarely flavored with anything besides salt, sugar, and black pepper, and is typically sold whole with the bone still inside. Although you can find different cuts like biscuit slices and just anything in the store really, it's typically sold whole with the bone still inside. No matter how you like it, no matter how you cook it, you know you'll like it. Now let's travel across the pond to Europe. The German Iberico is found in Spain, perhaps the world's most famous and expensive ham. This Spanish variety may only be made from pigs that are genetically more than 50% black Iberian pig. A major element of this ham's legend is that these pigs are encouraged to roam freely, which gives them a lot more muscle than factory-raised pigs, and they gorge on some of their favorite foods, acorns. The curing process goes like this. After slaughter, the hams are salted for about a week, rinsed, and kept in a cool room for about a month. The ham is then hung in a warmer drying area, ideally outside, for a year to fully dry out, and then moved to a cellar for at least another year. This ham is so prized that it is rarely cooked or really even in any way at all prepared. It's typically just eaten as it is. Westphalian ham. This is a German variety ham made from pigs which forage for acorns in the forests of Westphalian, Germany. This ham is dry cured but is then smoked slowly over beechwood and juniper branches. It gives it a very unique flavor and almost a fruity taste. It is also among the more expensive varieties in the world, and it uses a combination of both dry and immersion curing. The Olenski bud, little known outside its native Bulgaria, this ham is dry cured and left to air dry for about a year. What makes this one different, aside from the variation in airborne bacteria, which creates the flavor differences in most hams, it is cured in a salt in a kind of barrel called the pastive for 40 days. It's not intentionally smoked, but the pastive is usually kept in the room with a wood-fired cook stove and could impart a bit of smokiness. Next, we travel on to Asia. The Jinhua ham, the most prized ham in all of China. It's named after the city that it's made in. They have been making hams for over 900 years. It comes from the Tongqing pig, a white breed with black correlation on its hind legs and head, which gives it its Chinese name, translated as two ends black. This ham is repeatedly salted, washed, and soaked, trimmed into a teardrop-like shape. It is then sun-dried for a week before curing for about 8 to 9 months in a cool cellar. It's eaten as is, but also can be made into broths and stocks for soup. Now that we've traveled the world, I hope that you've all learned something new about how hams are dry cured throughout the world. I know for sure that I have. Thank you.